are now rushing after locally made African cultural fabrics. We hook up with this client who would not disclose his identity, and this is his motivation for the purchase.
As for me, actually this is not for me. So my father, the culture man. So that's why I'm buying it. So he will present himself in a lot of places, and this is what he needs to put on. Someone like me, I'm still young for that. There will be a time also.
However, as a young African fashion designer, Fon Quinter now gives an appraisal of the changing trends.
I discovered that, especially for our youth, we don't like dressing in our cultural way. We like adopting cultures. We don't like dressing like, maybe if you have to organize a wedding party, they will prefer to dress in the Western world regalia, or maybe dress in something very different from an African way. But now I discovered that if I have to bring out this African way, maybe using the African logo, but in a modern design, therefore you're going to dress in it, and believe me, they are buying. They are buying.
Nonetheless, the truth still stands. It is a competitive transition, and local designers as Quinter have confessed designing to suit the season and present era is the target.
I've been inspired by the festival.
Gang in the full report.
Spiritual healing, baba yeah, babaros labagos baye bande.
Attention, one artist down. The night between the 23rd and the 24th of December 2021 was indeed a tragedy. Cameroonian singer Mbonjem Leslie Aponglem, popularly known as Fish, has joined his ancestors after a fatal car accident along the Tiko-Douala highway. Fish was driving a car he had won barely 1 month ago when he emerged winner of the Biggie Studios reality TV show with a cash prize of 12 million francs CFA. In the car was his manager, Feka Pashibel, who equally lost her life on the spot of the accident with her body beyond recognition. His friend, who is currently fighting for her life at a healthcare unit in Douala. Possible causes of such a fatal accident, reports say Fish's car collided with a heavy-duty truck parked along the road precisely at Mudoni, a small village on the Tiko-Douala highway. Sources say this is the second time the artist is involved in patience. Or is it when he used his talent to denounce social ills through masterpieces like Koro Koro? Fish's government grew even bigger when he made his appearance in this year's edition of the Biggie Studios reality show. Love from his fans eventually took him to the top, such that he emerged winner of the show. This love was manifested few minutes after his death as other celebrities, bloggers, friends and fans flooded social media platforms, still in disbelief, with rest in peace messages for the artist and his manager. In the meantime, their mortal remains have been moved to the Tiko mortuary. Fish leaves behind his daughter, mother, family and the entire government to mourn him.
Media source rest in peace. Until something else, over 200 internally displaced women within the Boya municipality have benefited from foodstuff and hygiene material to enable them celebrate Christmas.
A level for house. Somebody sick and she don't be casting God. How I go to 10 family for house. This October 1st, they shoot my pikin, they cut it foot. All that cry day for my mind. I don't know.
Through this non-governmental organization, the Kingsmen Humanitarian Foundation, these internally displaced women can now smile. Gathered at the Cultural Center in Boya, over 150 internally displaced women, the less privileged, and persons with disability benefited from basic food items and hygiene materials on Thursday, December 23. Going by the CEO of Kingsmen Humanitarian Foundation, Barrister Mafane Victor Ngando, this activity, which is the first of its kind, is in a bid to enable the underprivileged to have a memorable feast.
We're out to improve our lives, try to combat poverty, reach out to the less privileged and the vulnerable. We also have as our objectives to subsequent objectives, which are to empower the girl child, and most especially we're into human rights protection with consent.
Meanwhile, others have been called to emulate such good examples by sharing the little they have with the underprivileged around communities.
The Southwest Regional Council has donated anti-COVID-19 kits to some establishments in Kumba, Meme Division. The donation is in line with the multi-sectoral health conference in Kumba to fight the spread of COVID-19. Tampu Sidwan with details.
In a bid to bring to zero the spread of the deadly coronavirus in Kumba, chief town of Meme Division and the Southwest region in general, the Southwest Regional Council has donated a consignment of preventive items to some 9 establishments that host a bulk of the population of Kumba on daily basis. The representative of the president of the Southwest Regional Council, the Commissioner for Health and Social Development at the Southwest Regional Council, Honorable Williams Elangwe Itue, donated hand sanitizers, medicated face masks, chlorine and spraying machines at the premises of the Kumba Health District to 4 largely populated schools, 4 religious groups and the Health District. The donation was in line with the Southwest COVID-19 multi-sector fight against COVID-19 in Kumba Health District and beyond.
Now, the fact that the regional team has brought right to the doors of these churches and schools these sanitizers, these face masks in their numbers, so that all the students will protect and prevent each other from being infected, especially at this time when we have the Omicron virus and the other types, the serotypes of the coronavirus floating around. It's a very good thing for us. It's going to save our population of Kumba and it's going to reduce the infectivity rate of our people.
The beneficiary establishments deals with a bulk of the population of Kumba, reason why they were choosing to strategically save a greater quarter of the Kumba population.
We had to target those organizations because a good number of the population of the Southwest is they are dealing with a good number of the population of the Southwest. So this includes things like schools, CAS Kumba with more than 6,000 students. We have the Government Teachers Training College. We have the Apostolic Seminary. We have churches like the Catholic Church, the Baptist Church, and the Presbyterian Church, and others. So that during this festive period, during this particular festive period of December, they should be able to keep themselves away from this COVID pandemic, which is a very serious incident that has happened among us.
The donation was timely as more efforts are required to deal with the deadly coronavirus, coupled with the fact that the Meme population joins the rest of the world to celebrate Christmas and New Year, which brings people together, increasing the risk of contamination.
Members of the Office of the Southwest Public Independent Conciliator, known by its acronym as PIC, have been schooled on the core mission of the office in a bid to ensure that the aspirations of the population of the Southwest is made. This was during a one-day workshop organized in Boya, as Clarice Ekowe tells us.
Installation as Pioneer Public Independent Conciliator for the Southwest region at the Southwest Court of Appeal. These are members of the Office of the Southwest Independent Public Conciliator who converge on Boya for a one-day seminar aimed at strengthening their capacities in the execution of duties of the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator, which is to maintain peace and enhance social cohesion among the Southwest population.
I know the public has lots of expectations for the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator. These expectations are that there should be peace and social cohesion among the communities in the Southwest region. We are there to ease social tension. That is our mission.
Cognizant with the role of the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator for the Southwest region, among which is to promote content of the special status given to the Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon, this seminar, which had as resource person the Director General of NASLA, Tiny Tiku Baye, was also to sharpen the skills of these members on effective decentralization.
The expectations of this seminar have been wonderful. The resource person was a big actor in decentralization and highlighted the personnel of the office on lots of issues and the way forward and how we are expected to work.
Though faced with structural challenges such as office space, the Southwest Public Independent Conciliator noted some strides already made.
I have received many complaints. Just a few days ago, I received a complaint from Tombe. Somebody deposited a received complaint from other collectivities in the region. But like I said, it's difficult to start exploiting them because I need a good place.
The seminar was also attended by the president of the Southwest Executive Council, Bakuma Elango Zakios. Meanwhile, the Southwest population have been called to keep making use of the office of the Public Independent Conciliator whenever need arises.
Another impact of COVID-19 on women worldwide remains uncountable. Women in the country have dealt with and are still dealing with the threat of COVID-19, which risk their security and health life. Nora Kakebi highlights some of these impacts of COVID-19 on women.
The coronavirus constitutes a significant threat to the fundamental rights and economies across the globe. The impacts are not gender neutral, but women are more vulnerable to the economic shocks as a result of the pandemic. Women are more likely to be infected by the virus as they are predominantly caregivers, as Dr. Dorothy Fosak, a lecturer in the Department of Women and Gender Studies in the University of Boya, explains.
Women have as part of their reproductive chores to take care of the homes, to take care of the house, feeding, caregiving roles. These roles actually increased a lot of, because to look for food to feed the family, other things to occupy themselves, and so there was a lot of pregnancy, reported teenage pregnancy and all of that.
The vast majority of people providing food for the country are women, and they are the most at risk to become infected and bear the brunt of the economic burden. As a result, their families suffer. Talking about her response strategies, Dr. Fosak explains.
As a parent and as a mother, you still have to make sure that they're taking the precautions, wearing masks and washing their hands, sanitizing their hands.
Taking a gender perspective of the COVID-19 affecting women is not a luxury, but it is essential to a safe public health response for all.
Now, a few hours until Christmas, traffic congestion is the order of the day in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. Our reporter Catherine Ekongwe visited some streets in Douala and compiled the following report.
One day into Christmas celebration, Douala, Cameroon's economic capital, is witnessing a head-on traffic on the major highways across the city. This is Bonaberi, where we get to meet the height of traffic congestion. It should be noted that the effervescence of Christmas is always felt with the busy nature of most towns in the country, as people always await the Christmas with a lot of joy and happiness.
The phenomenon of cohabitation in Cameroon is greatly gaining grounds in today's society, with women suffering most regarding the shortcomings that accompany the concept. In the following report, Eileen Sama talked to a legal mind on the loopholes that surrounds this concept. Her report.
Call it cohabitation, come we stay on Jumba in local parlance, meaning the state of living together and having a romantic or intimate relationship between a man and a woman without being married. Is an act of either long-term or permanent basis, a concept highly practiced in Cameroon by almost all the existing 300+ tribes that make up the country and has been going on from time immemorial. But the big question of the day is, does the Cameroon law recognize cohabitation? Barrister Shom Kaimbi.
The Cameroon law do not recognize coming and living together. A woman that is living with another man together, she is not secured. You are not secured. Yes. Why? The law does not recognize it. In case of any eventuality, death of the spouse or anything, you are not covered.
Now, as concerns being secured in whatever domain with the concept of cohabitation, especially at the death of one's partner, the barrister at law says making one's union legal is the only way to get financial security in case of any sad events.
So woman, you are not secured. Tell that man to go and do the needful. If he has paid his bride price and if your bride price and he feels that he has done so much, let him just complete it by going to the civil state registrar, and so that you contract a marriage and the law recognizes you. That is how it's supposed to be done. So women out there, urge your husband, tell them they are supposed to know, they are supposed to do this thing as it is supposed to be done legally.
However, in a case where a man lived with a woman for several years and both had kids, but he later on dies, the law can step in to protect the kids and not the woman.
In the case where a woman has lived with a man for 5 to 10 years and they have acquired children, possession within that time, the man dies, can the law intervene to assist the woman and her kids? The law will intervene to assist the kids, because here we are talking of interest of the children and not the woman.
After listening to Barrister Nsungkikang, it is fair to say the disadvantages of cohabitation, can we stay on Jumba, outweighs the advantages, as such should be discouraged among couples. Cameroonian Makossa legend
Wala believes that signing the Makossa icon is best for the achievement of the objectives of the foundation.
Why Bendeka as the ambassador? We all know that everybody listens to him, every generation, be it the small, the big, the old, the very old, everybody listens to Bendeka, and he's somebody that like he already has his public, he has a very large public. So I guess and I know that with him the message will pass across.
Bendeka, on his part, intends to utilize his fame to combat malnutrition in Cameroon.
Anyway, I'm not a doctor, you know, but I used to travel sometime, and when I see a young girl and boy with fat more than me, because you know I'm fat too, I have to lose some weight. But anyway, I believe that I have many of fans who are able to listen what I used to do and what I think. So I just try to do the best to call all of them to come and try to do what they give me to do.
With Bendeka as their nutrition ambassador, the J&A Oben Foundation aspires
City Football Festival. The transporters in Kumba have for over the weeks been chasing the ball as they were grouped into 10 teams in the transporters tournament of the Kumba City Football Festival. On Thursday, December 23, the Kumba 3 riders lifted the trophy following their victory over the Mator Road riders at the finals after post-match penalties. The Cup donor, Mr. Gregorin Temoyog Miwano, believes the transporters are major actors and must not be left out of the football festival.
Our society cannot be complete without the transporters, those driving the vehicles taking us to Fakou, Littoral and other areas of Cameroon, through Manu, through the BLM, but then most especially also the bike riders.
The tournament rallied people together to build trust, which is a major instrument in the development of the Kumba community.
We have also in Kumba the distrust among ourselves, which makes it difficult for the denizens to cooperate, collaborate. I think if we can also, eliminate that, it will take
major category in the Kumba City Football Festival, which also has the female tournament, the youth tournament, and the major inter-quarter tournament.
We've come to the end of today's edition of Prime News, this 24th day of December 2021. Coming up at 7 p.m. is Prime Hour with Kum Leonard and his team. My name is Fon Quinter. Have a perfect evening and Merry Christmas in advance. We'll be again tomorrow for another edition of Prime News. Bye.